Part 1. Coca-Cola's popularity in Nazi Germany. Our story begins in the early 20th century when Coca-Cola was rapidly expanding its global reach. In the 1930s, Max Keith, a German-born executive, headed Coca-Cola GmbH, the company's German subsidiary. Keith was a dynamic leader who understood both the American and German markets, making him the perfect man for the job. Coca-Cola quickly became a hit in Germany, even gaining favor among the Nazis. Adolf Hitler himself was known to enjoy Coca-Cola at high-profile Nazi events, as he didn't drink alcohol. By 1936, Coca-Cola was one of the largest sponsors of the Berlin Olympics, cementing its place as the drink of choice for the German military and civilian population. Part 2. Challenges during World War II. When World War II broke out, things became complicated. Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939 led to international trade restrictions. The Coca-Cola Company in the United States could no longer ship key ingredients to Germany. However, Max Keith was determined to keep the German Coca-Cola operations running. By 1942, the German subsidiary faced a crisis. Supplies for Coca-Cola production were running out. Keith had a decision to make: shut down operations or find a way to create a new beverage using only local resources. Part 3. The invention of Fanta. With wartime shortages, Keith collaborated with chemists and agricultural experts to develop a new drink. They used apple fiber from cider production, whey from cheese manufacturing, beet sugar, and fruit scraps to create a unique beverage. A member of Keith's team, Joe Nip, suggested naming it Fanta, short for fantasy, reflecting its imaginative creation. Fanta hit the market in 1941 and became an instant success. Selling over 3 million cases in its first year, Fanta provided Germans with a refreshing, non-alcoholic alternative during tough times. Part 4. Fanta's role in wartime Germany. Fanta wasn't just a drink, it was a symbol of ingenuity and resourcefulness. It became popular among soldiers, factory workers, and even Hitler youth groups. German soldiers in combat zones often received Fanta as a morale booster, and it was used in cooking to add sweetness to wartime rations. Interestingly, even under the strict controls of wartime rationing, Fanta production was allowed to continue. Its popularity grew, and it became a favorite among German citizens and military personnel alike. Part 5. Ethical concerns and slave labor. Like many wartime industries in Nazi Germany, Fanta's production wasn't without its dark side. The factories utilized slave labor to meet wartime demands. However, testimonies after the war revealed that Max Keith treated his workers better than most and provided them with decent food and living conditions, recognizing their critical role in keeping operations running. Part 6. Post-war survival and global expansion. As the war ended in 1945, Keith continued producing Fanta in a bombed-out factory in Berlin. When Allied forces arrived, they found Keith still managing operations. Despite facing scrutiny for his wartime activities, Keith was cleared of wrongdoing thanks to the positive accounts of his workers. After the war, Coca-Cola regained control of its German subsidiary, including Fanta. Although production stopped temporarily in 1949, Fanta was revived in the 1950s. In 1955, an Italian Coca-Cola plant created the orange-flavored Fanta we know today. Part 7. The legacy of Fanta. Fanta's journey from a wartime necessity to a global sensation is a remarkable story of resilience and innovation. Today, Fanta is sold in nearly 200 countries, offering over 90 different flavors worldwide. However, its origins in Nazi Germany remain a controversial chapter in its history. In 2015, Coca-Cola released a statement distancing itself from the actions of its German subsidiary during the war, emphasizing that it had no direct control over operations at the time. Closing thoughts. Fanta's story is a testament to the complexities of history. It's a tale of innovation born out of necessity, shaped by a turbulent era, and transformed into a global success. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the fun World War II and Fanta's fame. Continuing the story, Fanta's role during World War II. The beverage of a nation at war. As World War II intensified, Fanta solidified its role in German society. With traditional beverages like beer and Coca-Cola becoming harder to produce due to shortages of key ingredients, Fanta filled the gap. Its affordable production process and availability made it a staple on German dining tables. It wasn't just a luxury drink, it was used in baking, cooking, and even sweetening tea due to sugar shortages. Fanta was particularly significant during festive occasions. Despite the grim realities of war, it offered a semblance of normalcy and joy, especially for children. Stories from that time recount how families saved up ration coupons just to enjoy a bottle of Fanta during birthdays or holidays. A symbol of wartime resilience. German propaganda often highlighted Fanta as a symbol of the country's ability to innovate under pressure. It wasn't just a drink, it was a morale booster and a subtle form of resistance to the hardships imposed by global trade embargoes. Bottles of Fanta were even sent to the front lines, providing soldiers with a refreshing taste of home.